Mama is back at it again with another Vanderpump Rules video. You probably didn't expect that because it's been a while, but you guys, there's just always more to say about this. But a little bit of context, when I was pregnant with my son, I binged watched the entire series of Vanderpump Rules. So I was already in all the Vanderpump Rules drama. I had everything that went on from the previous seasons like very fresh in my mind because I had just watched the whole thing. So I was very personally affected by Tom Sandoval and Rachel Leviss because of what they did to Ariana. So I'm just gonna tell you guys my thoughts on the new stuff that's come out as if you know everything that has already gone on, but if you don't, I have another video about it and it kind of fills in a little bit of the holes. I will leave that down below. We have to talk about this again because Tom Sandoval and Rachel, they're like the worst people, and there's always more to say because not only did they do these awful things that they did, but in the new episode and this last reunion, there was so much victim blaming that was going on.
Hey, everybody.
You are disgusting.
This person knows everything. It's real because she treats me with respect. Something I haven't gotten from you in a long time.
So I'm the scapegoat.
I'm not saying you're the scapegoat.
And Rachel smiling every single time something awful is said that she did.
I know we always said like we wouldn't do this if we didn't think it was worth it. I think the way that it imploded, it's not.
I can't kiss you.
I know, I can't either. I can't either. It's so weird.
Why do you think this happened?
I've never like had sex like that before.
And not only her smiling at completely inappropriate moments, but also her having zero emotions when her best friend was bawling her eyes out and she's just staring at her with zero emotion.
I was in the middle, but I was like, sure. I trusted her with everything. Everything.
Get up.
Then that really weird comment that Rachel made at the end of the reunion part 3 where she said that she even suggested to Tom that they be in a throuple polyamorous situation with Ariana.
I was like, maybe what would Ariana think about like having me as an addition? And he was like, no, she would not be into that. Because like I love Ariana, and then also I'm in love with Tom Sandoval. Yeah, it didn't seem like that far-fetched of an idea.
There are always comments from people saying things like, everybody in this season cheated on everybody. Like, what's the difference? Why is this one a big deal? Everybody was cheating on everybody, but the difference in today's time in that and this, and it's not making excuses for that, but the difference is this dude's like in his 40s. This is not a way that a grown man should behave. And I do know that there are a lot of men, grown men and women who behave this way, but they're not grown mentally, okay? Because an established, mature, good person doesn't do this type of thing. The difference is he's in his 40s. He should have learned. Also, he had been with Ariana for like 10 years, okay? That's a long time. That's a decade. That's a long time.
Back when you lived with shorts, we became friends. When you were literally like wearing combat boots and skinny jeans.
It was going on for like 7 months, probably even more than that, to be honest with you. I think there's more that we don't know.
It's the one story that we've agreed on getting straight. It's a really bad look to hook up with someone's boyfriend in their own house when they've gone out of town, especially for like a funeral of all things.
Rachel and Ariana were really, really close, okay? So he didn't just cheat one time here and there with her. Like, it was like a full-blown affair going on behind Ariana's back and literally, honestly, right in front of her face. Like, I saw this clip. It was literally filmed where Tom Sandoval, like, slapped Raquel or Rachel's ass, like, on camera.
Can we discuss Sandoval grabbing Raquel's butt right next to Ariana?
And then at the end of the Scandoval episode, that part where Raquel is asking Ariana inappropriate questions about her relationship with Tom. It was almost as if she wanted to see if Tom was telling her the truth. She's asking about their intimate life, and it's such an uncomfortable scene to watch because she's literally a part of an affair that's currently going on with this woman that considers her a friend, and she's being totally invasive asking these questions while she's literally having sex with him.
How are you and Sandoval? Are you guys okay? Like,
Yeah, we had a big argument last night.
Okay. I remember when I opened up to you about James and I not having sex, and you told me that sometimes Scandoval and I go through dry spells.
We do.
I feel like in a relationship, you should want to, like, have sex.
Okay, but you have to be, like, emotionally intimate.
You feel like you're sexually attracted to him?
Oh my God, I think he's so hot. But then I'm like, I'm not hot. You don't look at my body and go, yeah, that's what I want.
Stop, Ariana. I feel like a lot of it is in your own head, and that makes me really sad because I do that to myself too.
And there's that really weird scene where they made a joke about being a throuple in the hot tub.
I'm just like
And the
floating.
mustache floating with the pasties. I love it.
It's a bad.
It looks like we're in a throuple. We're on like a romantic vacay.
I mean, there were things going on right in front of Ariana, but that poor woman, like she trusted her friend and her partner. Let's be real, they were practically married. They had pets together. They had a house together. And when Tom did this, Ariana's dog had just died and he's literally like hooking up with Rachel right after.
I've been a people pleaser my whole life, and I dropped that mentality and I started only pleasing myself. And this was something that I was curious
So
to
my
see.
dog had just died. I cried in your arms, and you thought I should go her boyfriend. You are lower than the lowest of low people. You really are. You're a psychopath.
And not only did he know this dog and was this dog also his dog, Rachel knew this. Like, she knew that Ariana was going through this, and the fact that they could like get their rocks off with each other while that was happening and while she was devastated makes me sick. This is a really scary situation because when you look at this couple, they're like what you never want to be. Like when you feel like you can really trust your partner and you feel really close. Like I've watched podcasts with Ariana where it's like she really felt like they had like a connection that was unlike any other, and she truly trusted he wouldn't do this. It's a scary situation because anybody could be in this situation and not know it. Like you could be with somebody for years and have no idea what they're doing behind your back, and that is terrifying. So in this Scandoval episode, the one before the reunion, when Tom and Ariana were talking, I have never in my life seen somebody victim blame so hard.
Every time I try to apologize to you, it just makes you more angry.
Good, let me be angry.
Okay.
You should still
I'm
apologize.
sorry. Me and Raquel became like really good friends.
I don't give a about Raquel! Your friendship is bullshit.
No, it's not!
Yes, it is!
He went as far as to say that she should have followed him, like literally followed him to where he was going and found out that he was cheating on her, and that it was basically her fault that she didn't go to where he was.
Ariana never asked me to be like, I'm going to Schwartz's. All she would have had to do is follow me and see that, you know, I'm not.
I mean, you don't want to put that responsibility on her.
Like she should have followed me and then she would have saw I was cheating. Like what a dummy. Like, are you kidding me? And then he throws the fact that they weren't having sex in her face. It's like, okay, well, if you don't like that, then you go get some therapy, which you were, and she was obviously willing to work through things. You go and you do that, or you break up with that person, okay? And you don't say, oh, I tried to break up with him. No, if you are authentically done with someone and you break up with them, you break up with them. Actually end it. And if you don't end it and you proceed to cheat on that person with their really close friend, you don't then blame that on them too.
2 weeks ago, I was like, Ariana, I want to end things.
You should not be here if you want to end the relationship.
You literally told me, I am not letting you break
not,
up with me.
Tom,
You're gonna have to force me out of this.
Yes, if that was true, then you should have never been in my bed after that night.
You should have not been.
You felt bad, Tom. You have to end it. You have to leave.
And then on top of that, he was acting as if they never had sex, which is obviously what he wanted Raquel to know, because it ended up coming out that while he was having this affair with Raquel, he did have sex with Ariana, which is just so gross and icky in itself. And you can see whenever he says this in the reunion that Raquel seems like taken aback and offended by it, which is so funny because it's not like you haven't been doing the same thing to her. But then he has the audacity to say this during the reunion.
Everything was great. They had been very intimate that that month, their communication was better, and they were in a very good place.
Well, no, you know who he did sleep with after him and Raquel started sleeping together? Me.
Yeah, she kept her t-shirt on. It was really hot.
You're such a f***ing dick.
What the dude? You're disgusting.
Oh, don't
You
say
are
that.
really disgusting.
Sorry, dude.
And it's really sad because she trusted him fully, but then whenever it came down to them breaking up, like in any way, he could throw her under the bus or attempt to throw her under the bus to try and save face or to make himself look better, which failed miserably. But anytime he could do that, he did that. Like that is somebody that nobody should want to date, because when you date Tom Sandoval, you need to know that you could be with him like a decade, and if you guys break up and it'll make him look better to talk shit about you, he's gonna do that. And I think one of the things that upset me the most about this episode was that when Tom went to Schwartz's house, he cried and apologized to Tom Schwartz because their business was getting screwed over by what he did. Like, he apologized better to Tom Schwartz than Ariana.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, dude.
I love you. I love you. I'm not gonna beat you while you're down, man.
No, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
Like, he was bawling in his arms, and it's like, why weren't you giving that same apology to Ariana? Like, why weren't you bawling at her for what you did to her? And can we sit there and talk about Rachel for a minute? Because this girl, when Tom showed up to Rachel's house, she was smiling and making jokes. She's laughing and she's like, yeah, I'm totally fine. And then she thinks that he says that he loves her, and she says that she loves him too. And it is the cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Trying to hook you up with like Schwartz. Like, dude, you're sleeping on Ariana. You're an idiot. Like, she's amazing.
You just call me Ariana.
I love you.
I love you too.
I said they love you,
Oh.
but I love you too.
And I just want to say this right now. I can't see one tiny little connection through the screen between these two. I guarantee you that there was a thrill of screwing behind Ariana's back and they were getting off on that, and that as soon as this was all out, that it was not fun anymore. I guarantee you they weren't having fun anymore, and they realized, wait, we don't really have that much in common, because Tom was, you know, saying things like Rachel was like, you know, that he really bonded with her and they got really close and got to know her. Like, when you listen to Rachel talk and then when you listen to Ariana talk, there is a very big difference in an intelligence level between the two of them. One day, if he hasn't yet, he's gonna realize the mistake that he made. And I'm not saying that him and Ariana should have stayed together or anything, or that if you're not happy, you should stay with somebody. Like, I think he should have left if he wasn't happy, but he made the worst decision that you could possibly make. And then instead of just like fessing up to it and being like, I messed up, he has proceeded to dig the hole even deeper, like the podcast that he did with Howie Mandel, and like how he tried to make Ariana look bad. And also, I want to say this, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but every time he makes some sort of connection to a timeline or to some, you know, part of their relationship, it's always when there was a scene filmed. Well, the first time we hooked up was at the night that this scene was filmed, which I'm like, oh, how convenient that the first time you hooked up happened to be a night that it was being recorded. I don't believe that for a second. I think that it was happening before that, and you can tell by how they're looking at each other. I think they're both liars. They talk a lot about how Tom Sandoval wants to get everybody's story straight. Like, he's gonna sit there and be like, this is what we need to say happened, and we need to say it happened this time. And you can tell that he was doing that with Tom Schwartz and Rachel. You know, they were trying to build a story. And when I was listening to Tom Sandoval on Howie Mandel's podcast, everything he said was like a scene that was filmed. Like, oh, like she wanted me to fertilize her embryos. That was a scene that they had filmed talking about. Like, it's convenient that every part of his story and everything that he shares, there's a moment recorded to back up what he's saying. I don't know, like, I was watching this first part of the reunion, and all I could help but was to feel like if I was Ariana, I would have been probably screaming and throwing up. People have been upset at how Ariana and Lala and some of the other castmates spoke to Tom and Raquel. They feel like it was a little bit too much with some of the things that they said.
You're ugly. You're hideous.
I know.
You are
I have
rotten
been.
on the
I know.
inside. Rotten. Like a moldy piece of fruit. You are nothing. Let that sink in.
This reunion was filmed just a few weeks after this happened, and if you've ever been cheated on or gone through anything like this, you can say some really terrible things when you are in the midst of being cheated on or when somebody's had an affair on you. It can bring out the absolute worst in you because it just hurts so bad. And people who have been cheated on, sometimes in that moment, all they have as a weapon is their words, and they can say some things that are really awful. And this is just the reality of what it's like when things like this happen. It's just being filmed and you're seeing it on your TV screen. I've heard that she's receiving some help, and I truly think that she needs it and she needs some guidance because she's getting wrapped up in the wrong stuff. And I've heard a little bit like through the grapevine from some of the others that I guess she had like a really hard life, and everybody that knows her seems to think that she's a little lost. On a human to human level, like person to person, I don't hate these two people. I just think that they're dumb, and I think that they should go receive some help and learn how to treat others, because you can't do the things that they did to people and then expect people to have empathy and sympathy for you. Like, you can't be an awful person and treat the people around you like crap and then want strangers to be nice to you. We have never met you, we don't know you, but we see how you're treating the people in your circle, and you're treating them like garbage, and you're doing whatever you can that is self-serving to make your life better at the cost of others' lives. And I think that that's sick. There's a lesson to be learned here, and hopefully they learn it. If you guys would like to go hear a live update from me, I will have it linked down below. I hope to see you guys over there because I'm gonna have a bunch of different types of content going on my second channel that I would love to have you be a part of. It's a little bit more of a cozy corner of the internet, so if you guys are into that, head over there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be seeing you guys soon for another video.